Dear Tyrese Halliburton, the Indiana Pacers, and every member also of the Edmonton Oilers, don't fuck around. Don't waste time. Don't give them a shot. Put your opponents out of your misery and let's move on. I don't want to see a game 6 in either one of these series. And to the referees that worked the Indiana Fever Washington Mystics game last night, your asses are mine.
Oh, God.
Let's go.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! Let's get it, baby! Let's roll, gentlemen. Good morning. Welcome to the Twisted Tripped Out Violence Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. This first hour, of course, is powered by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. Wake up and conquer your morning with Invader Coffee, veteran owned, air roasted, and unapologetically bold. No fillers, nothing, just strong, clean, damn good coffee. Whether you like it black or with a twist, Invader fuels warriors, broadcasters, and everyday legends. Grab your bag at invadercoffee.com and taste the mission. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off of your order. Gentlemen, I delivered a message before we came on the air today. I woke up and chose violence.
Oh, hell.
Here we go.
What do you mean, oh, hell? As if I didn't know.
Don't worry. I already got the propane tanks hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
First, I'm going to begin with a snowman's take.
All
Fire
right.
that up first. Now, before I take the camera, let me tell you what's on tap today. We got Alison Moran for hour 2. We say goodbye to the Carolina Hurricanes, break that down. A few baseball things to break down. And as I mentioned, Mike dropped Moran for hour 2, and I'm not going to say anything. She's going to take the floor and run with it, as she always does. That's on tap for today. Now give me the take. Let's try again.
Round 2. Fight!
Now give me this camera.
Damn it.
Number 1, to Tyrese Halliburton, Pascal Siakam, Miles Turner, and the rest of the Indiana Pacers. You got one job tonight. You have one job tonight and one job only. Finish the series. Don't mess around. I'm trying to work on. We're trying to work on our swearing, folks. Okay, just bear with me here.
We've already failed today
Good morning.
miserably.
I know. Good morning, Callie. Callie's becoming one of our faithful watchers of the programming here on Snowman Multimedia. But as I said, dear Indiana Pacers, you have one job tonight. And some people are thinking,
oh yeah? That's what he thinks.
no, that's what I know. You have one job tonight.
Yeah.
And that is to finish the New York Knicks. Deliver a
Fatality.
that they'll never forget. That they'll never even think. Or they'll get better and challenge you next year. This is Final Jeopardy for the New York Knicks. It's either stay alive or get a foot put in your ass and go home. I choose the latter. They're going to get a foot put in their ass tonight because Tyrese Halliburton is not playing around. Miles Turner is not playing around. I have a question, gentlemen. Who did I say was the wild card coming into the NBA playoffs?
Halliburton.
Yeah, it was the Pacers.
And who stands one game away from a trip to the World Championship Series?
The Pacers.
That would be the Indiana Pacers. They'll get Oklahoma City should they win tonight. And they need to win tonight. They don't need to be in a close game. They don't need to be in a 131-21 kind of game. It needs to be like what Oklahoma City did to Minnesota last night. Period. It needs to be
ass whooping.
It needs to be a Texas-size, California-size ass whooping. It needs to be a Chicago Bulls, Utah Jazz Game 3, 1998 NBA World Championship Series type of ass whooping. No chance, no shot, no nothing. It needs to be completed tonight. Because there are a lot of Pacer fans that I know, a lot of fans of NBA basketball, period, that do not want to see this series extended. And contrary to what a lot of people have said online, only reason you're getting viewers is because the Knicks are in the series. No, the reason you're getting viewers is because you have a young team like the Indiana Pacers. You got another like the Oklahoma City Thunder that want to take over the league, and they are proving their point. Period. Once upon a time, Tyrese Halliburton was known as overrated. Well, I can tell you what you could do with that theory.
Fatality.
And to the New York Knicks, have you not learned your lesson from the 90s to now? Okay, Tyrese Halliburton is the newest version of Reggie Miller in 2000. Because Reggie Miller in 2000 extinguished the Knicks in 6 games, got revenge for what happened the year before, and got to the championship series. Tyrese Halliburton, I want you to drop 40 on their asses in 3 quarters.
Ooh.
Pascal Siakam, I want you to out-rebound the Knicks by yourself. Miles Turner, I want you to hit a 3 in Karl Anthony Towns' face and make his face drop in shame. I want you to, let me borrow from Victor here as I make this next joke here. I want you to make Karl Anthony Towns walk into the corner and curl up like a freshly kicked puppy with water all over him. I want absolute anarchy tonight. I want absolute destruction tonight.
I think he's asking for some glass to be broken, Shane.
Oh.
I want anarchy tonight.
Austin's music.
don't care if the Knicks score the first bucket of the game. Indiana Pacers, you score the last one after you build up a 45-point lead. I want a record to be broken in. I want the first quarter for the Knicks to have this kind of hope and end like this for them tonight.
Fatality.
I want destruction. By the end of the third quarter, I want Kevin Harlan to quietly utter,
"That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over."
And Callie, yes, I will do the play-by-play for that one tonight. And I'm going to mix in coverage of what the Oilers are going to do to the Stars in Game 5 down in Texas.
It sounds like you want more like Kevin Harlan to say this by the time the game's over.
I want the Pacers to break the Knicks into halves, and I want them to break them into quarters. I want to break them into eighths. All right? I want destruction tonight. I had a friend, and y'all know I joke around with all this, okay? I had a friend ask me this morning on the way in, will it be a close game tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. It will not be. I want the Pacers to run over the Knicks like Eric Dickerson ran over opponents in Indianapolis.
Ouch.
I'm not a native of Indianapolis, but I'm an Indiana fan tonight. I live in Indiana, for God's sakes, okay? I know a lot of Pacer fans. When I was doing Uber and DoorDash, met a lot of Pacer fans. I wanted to get to the fourth quarter, and all I want to hear from the Pacers is
finish him.
You're gonna summon Wise this way.
Bring him on. And Wise is at a big event kicking its ass.
Gotcha.
Wise is at a big event, and I love you, Wise. You know I joke around with you about this as I'm joking around here, but
Dear New York Knicks,
You're screwed. Yeah, you're totally screwed.
I want destruction. Okay? Give me this button here.
man,
You know what I want you know what I want the Pacers to deliver to the New York Knicks for 48 minutes tonight?
a doom size. I was gonna say what, a doom sized ass whooping.
I want them to deliver so many.
Tiger uppercut.
And I want those in the first quarter. By the fourth quarter, all you're going to hear is
Yoga fire.
And yes, Callie, I'm going to play all my sound bites tonight, no matter how the game goes.
Jeez.
And to those of you who think the Knicks actually have a chance,
Now that's some bullshit.
No, I'm saving that for later.
a lot of friends are going to reach out to me and they're going to hear this playful rant. And yes, I'm being very playful. I'm having fun with this. And they're going to think,
He did what?
and of course, Wise is going to think,
Are you kidding me?
no, I'm not kidding you. I want the Knicks to get destroyed. If you remember the game Guilty Gear that we played, Victor, I don't want to slash.
I want to destroy.
I want destroyed. I want the New York Knickerbockers to absolutely get their chest caved in. Now, I never explain why.
This ought to be good.
I'll put it in 2 words. No, actually, I'll put it in the form of a sentence. The failure of Karl Anthony Towns. In 4 games, he has played 1 good quarter. 1. And that was the fourth quarter of Game 3 this past weekend. In other words, I want the Pacers to say to the Knicks,
You're out. You're out. You're out.
Safe.
I want them to beat the Knicks so bad. Here I go using Kevin Harlan again. I want them to beat the Knicks so bad that they're yelling. I want violence. I want to. You know what I want the Pacers to do to the Knicks? I want them to deliver a double nickel in the Garden tonight. I want to hear so many
Tiger uppercut
in the form of 3-point field goals from the Pacers that the Knicks wind up saying,
You know what? That makes me mad.
well, it could be a competitive game tonight. I don't want it to be.
Yeah, he wants total anarchy.
Give me that. I want that anarchy again. Give me that button again.
Anarchy incoming.
Don't start the game out with like a 12-2 or a 12-4 run. I want them to do what I saw Brother Rice do back in the day when I was covering the Chicago Catholic League. I want them to open the game with like a 20-0 run.
Man, you want this game over so early. People be leaving in the third quarter so they can rotate the building for Avril Lavigne tomorrow night.
I want this game to be put to bed in a hurry. And some people think,
why the you lying? Why?
Does it look like I'm lying here? I want the Knicks to suffer one big fat ass and to wrap up this series of jokes, if it doesn't happen and we do move on to a game 6, I'm not only going to eat the crow, I'll drink it 3 times over. And yes, this is ice water I have here.
Man, the way this is going, it sounds like you want the game to turn into this.
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
I want the Pacers to do to the Knicks what the Blackhawks did to Tuukka Rask in Game 4.
Why?
Why? Why?
Shut up, bitch!
I tried holding my laughter. It didn't work. I want the Pacers to do to the Knicks what the 49ers did to the Jets on Monday Night Football with half a squad last year.
Ouch.
I want the Pacers. Here we go. I want the Pacers to do to the Knicks what David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez did to baseballs in 2005. Destroyed them. Then Paul Konerko showed up, but that's another story.
Shut up.
I want the I want the Pacers to do to the Knicks what the Eagles did to the Chiefs.
Woof.
I want the Pacers to do to the Knicks what the 49ers did to the Rams in the NFC Championship game in 1989. Let them score the first bucket of the game, then you score the rest of them. I want it to be like 198-2, which I know will never happen.
Who turned the sliders up on 2K?
I want the Knicks to go.
What in the all types of blue hell?
After the first quarter. Ryan, if you don't see this 2-foot smile on my face. And for my buddy JJ, I want the Pacers to light up the Knicks the same way the Edmonton Oilers are going to light up the Dallas Stars tonight. Oh. I want anarchy. I want destruction. I'm choosing violence today, especially with what I got up my sleeve next.
You wanted anarchy again?
I want the Pacers and the Oilers to tell their opponents, you, and you.
Damn.
That's Snowman's take. What's yours?
Damn.
I can't tell you how many times I tried to hold my laughter within that.
Especially after you bombed Tuca. You had to know if I'm catching it straight.
I was trying to hold my laughter the entire segment, okay? Let me just be real.
Yeah, well, taking a shot at Tuca, you had to know I'm coming up with immediate referral.
Right.
And I was looking for it. I was looking for you to specifically press the button with the rock on it. I was looking for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, anybody who knows me knows I unleashed that series of jokes because I thought of it this morning and I wanted to start the show off with a bang. Now, watch what happens. Like I said, if it doesn't happen and we do happen to go to game 6, see this? This will be filled 4 times during the extended show tomorrow. And yes, it's all ice water. Bruce Marby, Reggie Miller, and one of our members of our channel. Thank you, Bruce. Reggie Miller must be in your avatar, Snowman. One of many. Reggie Miller, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Akeem Olajuwon, Julius Erving. Get the idea?
You do realize that if this goes into game 6, we're going to be hearing a lot of this too.
You fool! Oh, I'm ready for it. If it goes to game 6, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to eat this crow. Eat it, drink it, fry it, shake, bake, whip, dip, chip, chop, and fricassee this crow in case I do have to eat it. I'm ready for it.
Don't forget the cheese.
Got plenty of it ready. Now, as I said, unleashing all that series of jokes, watch what happens tonight. And we're going to cover it live, baby. To answer, I think it was Callie's. Somebody threw a question at me. It was Callie Greenshields. And Callie, I hope you become a member of the channel very soon. We love the fact that you support our efforts here. And I mean that for everybody. Let's just hope the refs call a fair game. After what I saw last night, I don't know. Bruce says back when the game was watchable. You ain't lying about that.
Refs calling a fair game. I think we may need to save that one.
That's next.
Back in a deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
The spirit of battle is a powerful force. It's a force that drives us, pushes us beyond our limits. It's a fire in our hearts that fuels our determination, our commitment, our strive for greatness. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, it sharpens our skills and fortifies our resolve. This relentless pursuit of excellence makes the journey so exhilarating. And the victory, it makes the victory sweet.
Hey everybody, Snowman here. Looking for the best way to experience live events? Well, SeatGeek has you covered. With just a few taps on your phone, you can find the best seats for concerts, sports, theater, and more. Don't miss out on unforgettable moments. Download the SeatGeek app today and get ready for an experience like no other. Each ticket is vetted for authenticity and ranked on a 1 to 10 scale. And right now, if you sign up and use the code SNOWMAN, you will get $20 off of your first purchase. That's only through the power of SeatGeek, where fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Later on today, when Alison Moran gets here, CTE, it's not just for male athletes. We'll talk more about that later. Callie delivers this comment. No, it ends tonight. The Pacers need to play like there is no tomorrow. There is no game 6. Right. I don't want a game 6. I want this to end tonight in New York.
In New York.
In New York.
So all the Knicks fans can cry.
I want the Pacers to piss them off so badly that they hang their heads like freshly kicked puppies off the floor.
So all the Knicks fans can cry.
Hey,
So
like
all
I
the Knicks can cry on First Take tomorrow.
Well,
exactly.
They'll be crying through the Avril Lavigne concert in the Garden tomorrow night. Let's be real.
I want this done. Okay? I want it finished. And speaking of finished, dear Carolina Hurricanes, you fired.
Wait, hold up.
You fired. 5-3 was the final, and the Panthers
back to the Stanley Cup again.
Back to the Beehive. No bull jive. I'll drive. Panthers in 5, just like I called it.
Oh boy.
First round of regional baseball, Kansas versus Creighton. Go Creighton. And of course, I say that with a smirk.
See, Blake, like you know
what time is Blake? What time is that game tomorrow? What time is that game tomorrow? Because if it's before 7:30, I might strap on the headset for that.
Blake's like, I'm good.
Anyway.
Good.
What?
I got nothing.
Sure you do. And I got this. Full Court Fever finally makes its debut tonight, even though it is set for Tuesdays. It's 6 p.m. It'll be 6 p.m. tonight, and I might just go ahead and move it to Thursdays permanently. And speaking of Full Court Fever, let me give you a little preview of what I'm going to unleash tonight. Fire up the tank.
Hank!
Time to cook.
Give me this camera. On 2 fronts, the Caitlin Clark effect is very, very real. Because there were some players that I heard celebrating her injury, and that's bullshit.
Wait, what? How? Pause.
Hold up.
Timeout. D says, sees.
Hold up.
We gotta pause that.
House note say, stop, halt, D says, cease. Penalty flag on the field.
Run that back by me again.
What?
You heard what I said.
No.
This is what I heard, okay? I cannot and will not confirm this because I have not seen it myself.
Okay.
Confirmed or not, I did hear that there were some players celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury.
Okay.
Bruh.
Now, give me this camera back. Should that be the case that players are celebrating Caitlin Clark's injury? Y'all are some straight up bullshit because you want Caitlin Clark and the Fever to fail.
That's
speaking of wanting the Fever to fail, the officiating that I've seen in the last 2 games of Indiana Fever basketball was atrocious. Absolutely bleeping atrocious. Let's rewind back to Saturday, shall we? Last possession of the game. You're going to tell me that Caitlin Clark gets undercut by Natasha Cloud and no foul was called? Really? You're going to do that? And then last night, even without Caitlin Clark on the floor, some of the fouls that were called were absolutely atrocious. There were a few offensive fouls called in a stretch in the third quarter when Washington took off and ran away and hid that should not have been called. 2 against Aaliyah Boston, a couple against DeWanna Bonner, and congrats to DeWanna Bonner, 21 points last night.
Mm-hmm.
Atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. I will add this caveat. There were some possessions that were so empty for Indiana, you could look down a well and still won't see the end of it. That's how empty those possessions were last night. But at the same time, they were made to play timid because they could not be as aggressive as they want to be because of the fear of a whistle. That really became apparent in the second half. Because there were some times they drove down, they drove down the lane and they stopped. To the Indiana Fever players, don't. Continue to play your brand of basketball. Okay? You're minus Caitlin Clark for the next 3 games, maybe longer. Step up. Make plays. Fuck the officials. Make plays. Give me this button. It sounds better with the button. I'm working on my swearing anyway. Let me try that again. Fuck the officials. Make plays. Fuck the officials. Play ball. Don't leave any empty possessions. Because there was a stretch of 6 of them last night where Washington took advantage on 4 of them. But at the same time, when you're made to play timid by the calls that the officials were making, it casts a whole lot of doubt. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it, not just with Indiana. I'm sick of it seeing it around women's basketball, period. It pisses me off. It pisses a fan off, and it pisses a journalist of 30 years who has covered women's basketball for the last 25 years angry. Stop it. The officiating in the WNBA so far this year has been absolutely fucking atrocious. Period. Even in the games that weren't Fever games that I've covered. Minnesota, Dallas, anybody? First game of the year? Huh? When you know better, you do better. Unfortunately, from what I've seen, and this is just one man's opinion, the officials don't know better, and they won't do better. Now get the hell out of here.
Damn.
There.
Whew.
I'm still steaming from Saturday.
Apparently.
I'm still steaming from Saturday. Liberty and Fever played a great game. The officials marred that bitch. I said it. And Callie, I hope you're proud of me. I said it, and I'll continue to say it. The officials marred that bitch. On both sides of the floor.
Whew.
I must take 30 seconds.
There you go. Was I tweaking, or did you guys go both black screen on me?
I think your machine is tweaking.
Okay.
Yeah, your machine be tweaking, bro.
Your machine is tweaking more than Brad Marchand was with the Boston Bruins.
Maybe, because I'm like, why are they both black?
Really, dude? Really?
He's gonna throw something at me.
Really?
What?
What? Bitch, please.
No, that's for you. What?
Stop it. Get some help.
I'm fine. Perfect. I never thought I'd throw this joke at Shane, but I'll throw it anyway. He was Listen, Victor's computer was tweaking more than the officials that called that damn tuck rule in 2001. I knew you'd get a kick out of that. I knew you'd get a kick out of that.
I don't remember asking you a thing.
You didn't. I said it anyway. Now, one more take, and this one is for the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what to do.
Gotcha.
Stuart Skinner, stop everything. Okay? Everything that the Stars will throw at you, and believe me, they're going to pepper some shots at you tonight because the Stars seem to think they can compete with you. They can't. You stole one in Dallas. You won two in Edmonton. Now steal this one and let's go to the final, will you please? At the top of the year, I called a rematch for the Stanley Cup final between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. Make it happen. Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, you know what to do. I don't even have to explain it. You've beaten Jake the Snake Oettinger almost every time this series, except for game one when they got 5 in the third period. Man, you don't have to deal with that anymore. You won the last 3. Make it 4 in a row and put them out their misery. I want Dallas Stars fans to cry like Dallas Cowboy fans.
Woo-hoo!
What do you have against Dallas?
Let me change my sentence, will you please? I want Dallas Stars fans to cry like the moronic Republic of Cowboy Nation every time they play the 49ers.
Oh, you mean you want them to cry like these idiots?
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
Yes. I want Draisaitl and McDavid to both get hat tricks.
Who?
I said it. I'll say it again. I want Draisaitl and Connor McDavid to both get hat tricks in the first 2 periods. Leave no doubt and leave no chance. I want the Stars to get drilled in Dallas the same way they did 2 years ago against Vegas. And
So
Victor, I have nothing against Dallas. It's just some of the fan bases, okay? You left that question hanging. I didn't answer it. I hope that answers it.
Okay. Just like, damn. You don't like Cowboys fans. You don't like Stars fans. And honestly, I think Star fans are better than Cowboys fans, at least.
Listen, there's some Star fans that act like the moronic Republic. I just don't have a name for them yet. Stars fans in general are very cool. I know a few of them. We know a few of them. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the ones that act like the moronic Republic of Cowboy Nation, the Midwest Committee of Bear Idiocy, what the Cub fans in general.
Let's see here. We could always go. We could always go with the Society of Stupid Stars.
You know, that could actually work. We'll work on it.
Yeah.
But to those fans, not the rational thinking stars fan, we have a winner.
Wait. Oh, no.
We have a winner.
Oh, my God.
I want the star sexuals to shut up.
Mr. McCarthy.
The evil super villain is at it again.
Coffee strikes again. I adore that. I want the stellar sexuals to shut up. Period. And it's not the rational Nick fans I want to shut up. I want the Nick fans that act like bronze sexuals to shut up.
The Stephen A's.
Yes. That's all I got. That's No Man's Cake. What's yours?
The stellar sexuals. Oh my God. Unfreaking real.
Right.
We need a break. We need a break.
We need
back in the deuce.
Wow.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The spirit of battle is a powerful force. It's a force that drives us, pushes us beyond our limits. It's a fire in our hearts that fuels our determination, our commitment, our strive for greatness. Every challenge faced, every obstacle overcome, it sharpens our skills and fortifies our resolve. This relentless pursuit of excellence makes the journey so exhilarating. And the victory, it makes the victory sweet.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, Snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Oh,
now what?
First, let me answer a comment. 2 of them, actually. Bruce, very good friend, says, I get an earful when I watch Snowman and some laughs, but I'm so out of current sports knowledge that much of what is said is Greek to me. That I can actually understand.
Well, it's better Greek than Italian to acidic.
Shut up. I love them both. Make sure you have a cup of ginger, lemon, and honey tea when you were calling me Gabe tonight. Callie, I will be fully prepared because I got both of my hot cups ready to put some green tea in there. And yes, I'm going back to the caffeine-free green tea and lemon zinger. Now, the reason I came back from a break and I said,
yeah.
Cue the heartbeat.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
No. Here we go.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
And I thought we could go through a week without having to deal with this crap.
I was praying for that.
All right.
There we go.
You know what? I can't do it. I can't do it.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
Why?
Because Allie will be here in 12 minutes, and what I have in mind is longer than 12 minutes.
It's that bad.
It's horrible. Oh, God. It's worse than those chickens inside Jewel Osco that's been sitting under a damn heater.
Oh, those are the ones that people end up slapping the bronzexuals with.
Exactly. The ones that Victor slaps every bronzexual with when they make a ridiculous. It was that bad.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So
there's no short version.
So for the shortest bronzexual confession in history, I will close it properly. Get out of my face, you thirsty bitches.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronzexual Confessions.
I want to stay on task today.
I was about to say, why do I have a feeling we're going to hear about it tomorrow? I mean, we do have a long show planned.
Yep. And everything we didn't get in during the month of May will come in that show tomorrow. That's why it's a long one. And the time may change. I'm still fumbling around with that. So be ready. We're going to end May on a high note. And we're going to get back to serious business in June, but we're going to add a lot of fun too. All right. But I could not do it.
That's why I say I have a feeling we're going to hear about it tomorrow.
Oh, we will.
Comments I just read. There's no way I would have been able to shorten this to 12 minutes.
Oh God.
You know how the homosexuals are.
Oh yeah, you have a conversation with one of them, and next thing you know, you end up losing 6 IQ points per second.
Which is why I said close it. There was no way I could keep this within 12 minutes.
Oh,
not
God.
a chance. Not after what I read.
Oh no. I'm already cringing at the thought of tomorrow, and I'm going to be caffeinated.
Yeah, because you're getting a couple of monsters, aren't you?
Since we have a long show planned tomorrow, yes.
Get them tonight.
Oh, God.
That's all I'll say. Get them tonight.
Oh, good news is I'll be up at 8 a.m. tomorrow, so I'll be able to actually do it then. I'm not going anywhere tonight because it's going to be raining.
Well, you better have someone bring them to you.
You got to be shitting me. You're thinking about going that long?
I'll keep my mouth closed.
Mm-hmm.
Is this what you were talking about when you said that I'm going to really hate something you're going to be bringing up?
You remember when I told you earlier in the week that I was flirting with an idea?
Yes.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Oh, dear God.
I'm flirting with this idea as much as I flirt with my wife. And I do that on a moment-by-moment basis with her.
I'm going to need to stock up on monsters and breakfast stuff tomorrow then.
Yep.
Lovely.
I told you. I'm torturing myself by looking at this shit. Okay.
Well, what are you doing that for in the first place?
Killing 12 minutes.
Well,
well, let me kill 12. Let me kill time this way. Congrats to the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yes.
For absolutely mopping the floor with the Timber Puppies.
Yep. 124-94 the final last night.
Beat them by 30. Minnesota didn't belong, just like Minnesota proved Golden State didn't belong.
Dude, we knew it was going to be a rough game for them when they only scored 9 points in the first quarter.
I looked at one update last night while doing the Fever game, and it read 23-7.
Yeah,
I
first
said
quarter.
Game over. Yep. I said game over. Hey, JJ. Donuts.
Oh, dear God. Let's see. Rudy Gobert shrunk in Game 5. He only played 19 minutes, had 2 points. Mike Conley Jr. was shut out and only had 1 assist in 21 minutes.
The Wolves shrunk faster than Dell Yates and Meet and Me.
Oh. I thought we have no more discussions with that man on the air.
Discussions, yes. Jokes, nah.
Bruh.
I don't want to hear that joke on the airwaves. Yes, he's a joke.
And the bad part is I got more.
Oh, dear God.
Let me put it this way. How bad is Victor will understand this comparison. How bad is it, you ask?
Yes.
42-10. I knew he'd catch that one.
Rude.
That's just wrong.
How bad is it, you ask?
That's just wrong.
96-54 in 1998.
Oh.
See, I have no buttons to press, so I just gotta sit here and take it.
No, the second one I referred to was a Bulls game.
No, I know that, but even still.
How bad is it, you ask?
Okay.
55-10 on January 28th, 1990.
Oh, wow.
How bad is it, you ask? To borrow from Ryan McCoffey, 100-12.
100-12.
And to borrow, and for the late great George Wendt, who was one of the super fans, Bulls win 181-12. How bad is it, you ask? Oh, God. It's as bad as matching the 2017 Warriors versus the 2007 Cavaliers. How bad is it, you ask, that I looked at this 46-10 on January 26, 1986?
How bad is it, you ask? Hey, Falcons, scoreboard.
Oh, God. Even better. Speaking of Falcons. How bad is it, you ask? Hey, Falcons, just when you're going in for the tying score, Navarro Bowman says, give me that, and closes down Candlestick Park in style.
Right.
How bad is it, you ask? Hey, Russell, you still dreaming of Malcolm Butler?
How bad is it, you ask? This bad.
McAdoo performed a defensive. Cooper brings it over to James Worthy. Worthy against Malone. Pass is deflected. Going to be stolen, I think, by the doctor. Yes, he's got it. Here he comes. Way rock the baby to sleep and slam dunk. And yet another.
Yep. That bad. It's as bad as 35 points in the first half. June 3rd, 1992. How bad is it, you ask? In a Martin Luther King game in 2017 between the Cavs and the Warriors ending the first half on a 20-0 run in 2 minutes.
How bad is it, you ask? You wonder why Tennessee doesn't come to New England when it's snowing outside? Do we all remember that one?
59-0. 59 to nothing. 59-0. How bad is it, you ask?
How bad?
How bad is this bronze sexual confession I'm holding till tomorrow, you ask?
Oh, no.
All the scores we gave you, plus the Astros beating the Dodgers in 2017, plus Paul Konerko's obliteration of a Matt Clement pitch in 2005 in the division series, plus El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, escaping a bases-loaded jam with no outs. How bad is it, you ask? And this is my last Boston joke before we go to the top of the hour. Even though the Red Sox won this game, it's as bad as the Twins rolling not one, but 2 triple plays in the same game with the same fielders.
How bad is it, you ask? New York had to destroy the old Yankee Stadium after we end up taking them out in the championship series. It just took them 5 years. They're still haunted.
Okay, Victor, you're going to have to forgive me for this one. How bad is it, you ask? This bad.
Pontiac, 3rd and 3. We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly. Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Caught it! Dwight Clark!
That's one of those. How did my dad put it? Or how did Alvin Washington put it? Dear friend of ours. That's from the Ain't That a Bitch department.
Oh no.
How bad is this bisexual, we all ask? Well, it could always be worse. It could be this.
Oh, hell no.
Why?
Oh,
Why,
hell
dog?
no.
Why? Why?
Oh, hell no.
Why?
Oh,
Why?
hell to the
always
no.
be worse.
What did I do to you? What did I do to you?
Okay, wise.
Whatever do to you?
Whatever. Exactly.
I even come to your defense, and you gonna do me like that?
Ryan McCarthy, how bad is it? 41-0. How bad is it?
I come to the dog's defense, and still he says, "I'm gonna hit you with Tam."
I'm just saying it could always be worse. It could be that.
No, but why? But why you gonna do me?
How
like
bad
that?
is it? Victor, I got you. How bad is it? You ask. Hey, playmaker, remember this?
Stanley, give those guys a little extra weight. Roger Craig, still on his feet, still running. What a run by Roger Craig. You'll never see a better one than that.
Give that man his gold jacket.
Right?
Please.
You don't feel like
Playmaker's gonna beat the hell out of me for that.
I'm gonna get you for that.
He said,
I'm gonna get you for that.
I know playmaker. I'm gonna get you for that.
Right?
Playmaker's gonna turn into wise. Whatever do to you.
Right.
Playmaker's turning into wise. Okay.
Oh.
But I'll say it again, folks. There's no way I could have kept it to 12 minutes. Especially with that. Man, Allie would cuss me out up and down if I did that. I greeted her with the tail end of a bronze sexual confession. I know Allie.
No, yeah, she'd get mad.
She'd get mad.
How dare you?
Exactly. How bad is it, you ask? My wife nearly ventured into this room and pushed the button herself to turn the damn thing off.
Oof.
How bad is it, you ask? Hey, Atlanta, this bad.
Wayne Gordon into linebacker now for Atlanta. Young trying to find a man, getting some pressure now. Tim Green turns him back.
This is vintage Steve Young. Oh, he caught his own ball, tried to score. Unbelievable.
That bad. And I don't want Allie beating me up. All right? That's why I canceled it.
Well, it's a good thing you did because
she's here.
It's that time.
There we go.
And she still wants coffee from me. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on. No, one more. How bad is it, you ask?
Oh no.
This bad.
Now, let's get it right. How bad is it, we all ask? This bad. Yes, Robert. Shut up, Father.
Mr. Mustard. Mortimer Mustard.
I think it's time.
For those who don't know Clue, for those who have not played Clue Junior, or for those who have played Clue Junior, you're welcome.
I think it's time.
Here's Allie. Right. Alison Moran is here.
For the magical winds of the Windy City. Alison Moran, how are ye?
Yeah, ye is good. How's ye?
Ye is doing well.
I'm laughing so hard I got tears in my eyes. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm laughing so hard I
made that joke about Robert Kraft looking like he eats mustard with a spoon and has not stopped.
He does, don't you know?
Right. See? I'm not the only one.
No, we're not the only. You look at that face, and I don't think even the mustard salesman would. I don't want to sell him that.
He needs to talk with his friend Mr. Belichick and get himself a little hottie who's 24 years old, and they can make her the CEO of the Patriots. How about that?
I don't know if we want him to be another Jarrell. I don't know if we want that. Another Jerry Jones.
When someone's been around us for a while, when Allie starts taking the jokes that we made a while ago and incorporates them into her segment, and we're all broken up.
Can throw anything at me you want. I'll have a comeback for it. This is something
I love dearly.
Yeah,
I do have a serious question though. So the past couple of games we've seen, at least the past couple of Sky games, we've seen Angel Reese get better, but unfortunately, the Sky just can't turn it into a W.
Right.
What needs to happen? Is it a coaching thing? Because that's where I'm leaning to, or is it just a chemistry thing? Because for some reason, it seems like they still can't turn the corner.
Courtney Vandersloot said it really, really well in one of the post-game press conferences. She said, "We're still finding our chemistry. We'll find our shot when we find our chemistry." And what they're looking at now is improving game by game. So every loss is a victory in that they didn't, let everybody pound them by 25 points, right? And it's, I think that right now there's a struggle, maybe not so much in the "I'm angry at you" sense, but who's going to lead the team? I think that's actually a bigger struggle, because there was no Angel Reese when they won the championship, right? There wasn't a situation where Courtney Vandersloot did not have full control of that court. She was the one, pass it to Candace Parker, and it goes in, and there we are. And so now it's a lot of new people with new chemistry that has not gelled yet. I think that Tyler Marsh often looks like a deer in the headlights when we talk to him. I could be wrong. He's trying to be positive about it, but there is frustration that's showing. This is his first head coaching job, and I think that's showing too. He's been an assistant all of his life. This is, and often it takes a while to be able to get out. Yeah, so you've got a lot going on behind the scenes with the Sky, and I'm hoping that they're going to work it out before the All-Star break, but I am not hopeful. They'll probably, the sooner they can play the Connecticut Sun, I think the better. But battle of the end.
In that last game against Los Angeles, they led by 16.
Yeah,
with all the winless
cruise control.
Yeah, exactly.
And they woke up the beast by being up 16. A winless team up 16 in the Staples Center, and the Sparks woke up, roared back, and won that game.
Yeah.
Looking back at that game, can you point out a couple plays that just woke up Los Angeles and they just took off?
It was all down to the final 2 minutes, and it was there. I think one of the problems I saw was that there was how do I want to say, some hesitation on the part of the main players on the team. There was some issues on the part of Angel Reese, and I get that they're still working out the chemistry, and they're still working out all that. But it allowed the LA Sparks in, and you've got some crazy ass good players on that team. And so that's the reason why you can't be unsure in those minutes. That is the moment that you give up total control on the court, and they never got it back. Their shots weren't falling. They got nervous is my best guess. And and so they lost the lead, they lost the game, game over. And it was just simply not the way it should have been.
And that's something I was gonna actually bring, because one of the worries I have about Angel Reese is that, one, I think she's a tall, athletic young woman, and she looks like she's a little uncomfortable in the low post. Like whenever she goes for layups, it looks like she doesn't want to go up. Like she can. And I'm wondering, like, is she just she plays a little timid on the low post? Why is that?
It's because it's a new position for her. Because it's not her typical. They've switched her this year, and I think it's really affecting her game. She's trying to get better on the outside shots, and that's just not coming as one would guess.
Is it that confusing to Angel Reese because is it a sudden switch that's crossing her up, or what?
It's a new position switch from early this year, and because of Courtney and because of the new players on the team, and so you've got it's kind of like if you want to play a first baseman at shortstop, it's kind of like that. And I mean, the two shall never meet. Right. I say, if you want results, you've got to keep a player in a position that they know, particularly if you want to win, because not only is she learning the number 4 position, she's also learning the outside shot. She's also learning how to have chemistry with a virtually whole new team. And there was no core that really stayed over the last year. You don't have anything resembling a team, to be honest.
Right.
And so that is my real concern here with the Sky. And I would say return Angel to where she's comfortable, so at least she can lead. Those the outside shots, they'll come later. Right now, this is affecting her entire game. And it in turn is making the Sky a worse team than we thought they could ever be.
Let's talk about the first game. Let's go back to the first game of the year that we had talked about it extensively, because Allie, you mentioned that they wanted Angel Reese to run the point a little more. They wanted to have a little more ball handling.
They did.
Responsibility. In the first quarter of that game, she was dynamite. She was dynamite. But then after Indiana snatched the lead at the end of the first quarter, she was lost.
Yes.
She didn't know how to not only get her team back in the game, but keep her team in the game, because Indiana only led by 5 at the end of 1, but the next thing you know, they're up 13 at halftime, and it got progressively worse. Why did you think she looked so lost after the first quarter of that game when she was doing very well and distributing the ball and getting to the basket?
The fever took her out of her rhythm, for one. That was, I think, probably the biggest. The second, I think, was that that kind of affected the other parts of her game. I think that she's very determined to win. And this is frustrating the crap out of her right now. And I think she doesn't have that headspace where she can go into a zone. You know, she's very fiery. Her temperament is fiery. And so I think when she's knocked out of her rhythm, she's not able to get it back. You know, you have to, if you're knocked out of your rhythm in any game, you have to get it back. What she knows is how to fight for the point. And she fights and doesn't always fight fairly, honestly, but she fights for the team, and she fights to win. I think because the Fever's defense was so effective, I think it just knocked her out for the rest of the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Speaking of Indiana Fever, they played in Washington last night, sellout crowd in Baltimore, and the Mystics came up with an 83-77 win, which posed a very simple question. Is the Caitlin Clark effect real? Is there ever a question with that? Because they felt that gut punch last night. Now, granted, with what I said earlier, there were some calls during the game last night, and we can rewind this back to Saturday that there were some calls missed in the Fever Liberty game, but a combination of empty possessions, no Caitlin Clark leadership on the floor led to that loss. Now they got Connecticut coming up tomorrow in a game that I'll do, and I'm looking forward to that. But with Stephanie White leading them.
Can you say 105-50?
And here I thought we were coming up with the strange scores. But it's going to take it. I think it took that game to deliver the gut punch to have them be reminded that the next players have to step up. And I think for the next couple of games, I think they need to put the ball in Sophie Cunningham's hands. That's one of the reasons they got her. And you got to get DeWanna Bonner involved too. Those are keys for them going forward.
You do. Yeah. I completely agree. Also, maybe not use Sydney Colson so much.
Yeah.
I mean, she's no Caitlin Clark, but then nobody is. You know, for the next 3 games, and I think one of the things that they're going to have to put on the Chicago Sky game coming up on June 7th, I think they're going to have to put her as questionable, Caitlin Clark. I think by that time she's going to be stir crazy, and
she is.
This is
stir crazy last night.
Yeah,
she was stir crazy during the game last night. But if they put her as questionable, you put the fear in their eyes too.
Yeah, and I think that that what they also have to do is find the chemistry that without Caitlin, because it's always Caitlin. I mean, it's go-to Caitlin. I mean, let's put it this way: she's averaging in the first few games 19 points. You know, she's had some great rhythm. I mean, it's just a matter of Kelsey Mitchell has to step up big time to my mind.
They missed Kelsey Mitchell last night.
I have a friend of mine who has the biggest crush on Caitlin Clark. He thinks she is absolutely gorgeous. So he calls her the beautiful assassin, but also he's known to call her Catalyst Caitlin because she is the catalyst for the Fever's offense. And with her being hurt, it's kind of a wake-up call for the Fever. Like, hey, you can't always depend on Kaylee. You're going to have to find ways to get Aaliyah Boston involved, DeWanna Bonner involved. You're going to have to find ways to win games, not just be competitive, but win games without Caitlin being there.
Yeah, exactly.
It was the very first test for Indiana with the new pieces they have in place, and they were minus Caitlin Clark.
They failed. Yeah, it's 83-77 is, nothing like what we thought would happen. And it also put them 2-3 on the season. So, they're now scrambling like quite a number of the teams that aren't the New York Liberty or the Minnesota Lynx.
The Minnesota Lynx.
Yeah.
It's looking like, and so far, much love to Nafisa Collier and the Minnesota Lynx and everybody in the New York Liberty. Saw them up close.
Yeah.
When Minnesota played Dallas and when the Liberty played the Sky. In fact, I had 2 Liberty games this year that I did. New York is just
lights out.
New York and Minnesota. Lights out.
In this very early season, I could actually see them going at it again in the finals, and this time the Lynx won't lose.
They're on a revenge tour.
They are
on a serious revenge tour.
Yeah, and I could just see that would happen. But in the meantime, as we were talking about Caitlin Clark, do you realize that she has not missed a game since she was in high school in West Des Moines? Do you realize? I mean, that's 2017. 2017 was the last game. She was a sophomore, for God's sake.
She was a sophomore in high school when she missed the game.
And
I know this is going to drive her absolutely nuts.
It will.
She was complaining to the refs last night, and she wasn't even on the floor. All right, that's just how competitive she is.
Now she's an assistant coach. Let's put it that way.
Pretty much.
She's going to be.
She pretty much is.
You were going to ask about Stephanie White as well. What was that question going to be?
What adjustments does she have to make now with one game under her belt without Caitlin Clark? You saw what you saw last night with Colson not being the leader of the offense. Then it's nothing against Colson. Colson's a bench player.
Yeah.
And she's being forced into a starting role with the injury to the biggest player in the game in Caitlin Clark. What adjustments can Stephanie White make coming into Friday against Connecticut?
Move Kelsey Mitchell and start focusing a little bit more on Natasha Howard. That's because
I can see that.
Yeah, and make sure that Aaliyah Boston is ready and willing and able to get out there. And I think then you've got something. I mean, Natasha Howard had 11 points and 6 rebounds. That told me that she was ready to go do more than she should. You mentioned Dewana Bonner. She hit a major career milestone.
She had 21 last night. Bonner, I think, even when Caitlin Clark does get back, Bonner is the key to this team.
Yeah,
they have to get her involved. And you mentioned Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah Boston looked very lost last night without Caitlin Clark on the floor.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the ball to her in her sweet spots like Caitlin Clark can do, but that's just a matter of time. I think that changes come Friday.
I'm pretty sure that you're right, and I just think that they will find a rhythm but it's going to be the same kind of rhythm that Scottie Pippen and the boys had to deal with when Michael Jordan was out, and that was about as rare as Caitlin Clark. So you have got to find that rhythm wherever you can. And, and the thing is that Stephanie White is also kind of playing around with the lineups. So, she's still finding the lineup that works with and without Caitlin Clark. I think she's used 4 or 5 of them since the beginning of the season. And so, you have got to think carefully how you're going to make it, how you're going to make these lineups work. And so, but I would say bench anybody that doesn't come up to par. And And
you can't be afraid to do that.
Yeah.
You can't be. Steve Kerr, hello.
Yeah.
Popovich, hello. Phil Jackson, Casey Jones, Billy Cunningham.
Yeah.
Becky Hammond.
All right. Exactly. All the great ones have done it. And so, and I remember even in the days of Pat Summit back at Tennessee. I've told the story on the air before. One thing that Candace Parker did was they had a game against DePaul on January 2nd. And Candace Parker missed her curfew on January 1st. Understand that McGrath Arena was full of Candace Parker fans. And so everybody in the arena was waiting for the return of Candace Parker to the Chicago area. And Pat Summit benched her for an entire first half. She did not come out.
Missed her curfew.
Yeah.
Simply put, she missed a curfew.
They didn't care. They didn't care. There was no "we want Caitlin out," in the stands or anything like that. And we'll see. I should mention as well. You've not only is the Caitlin Clark effect a problem for the team in winning percentage, it's also affecting the ticket prices for games.
June 7th, anyone in Chicago?
Honey, we could go at the prices. Seriously, on June 7th, the get-in price for the game was initially $86, right, at the United Center on June 7th. Since then, they've fallen to as low as $25. Now, that's according to Sports Illustrated. Now, I myself checked out Ticketmaster early this morning and found that the tickets for 300 level seats were holding for $59.50. And for tickets on the 100 level, though, you've still got some pricey stuff. The lowest was $195. The top was over $3,000. So,
in other words, 21,711 are going to be in that joint come June 7th. And I better make sure this is full of green tea and ginger and lemon singer as I'm working on decaffeinating myself forever. Because this morning started, and I wasn't going to do this, but then my wife said, "Honey, can you go grab me some sweet tea?" And I said, "Sure." And I said, "The hell with it," and I grabbed one of these. But it's still going to be a full house.
Oh yeah, it'll be a full house. Will it be a good game? That's going to be a big question mark. So
I think it will be. I think by that time, Indiana would have figured it out.
Yeah.
I think by that time, Indiana is that good of a team, even without Caitlin Clark, they're going to figure it out.
I agree.
Will Chicago figure it out?
Yeah.
Especially being in the United Center with 20,000 people there. Everybody, all eyes will be on Angel Reese. We got a point with that. We're coming up to in just a moment. All eyes will be on Angel Reese. Okay? And some of the Angel Reese fans that I spoke of earlier in the day, I haven't confirmed it yet, are quietly rejoicing that Caitlin Clark is not in the lineup. The question is to Angel Reese, what do you do about it?
Yeah, and that is a good question. Let's put it this way. You've got a lot more possibilities for fighting dirty. You've got a lot of I see some flagrant fouls during the game, shall we say. I see that this could be the start of some great revenge coming to the Chicago Sky, if possible. What's more, it'll be interesting to see how the fans react to the Sky Fever matchup. Now, that brings us to the WNBA saying that it could not substantiate claims of racist fan behavior during a game with the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever in Indianapolis.
Gee, I wonder who said that first. This pretty redhead on screen with us. That there's no way they're going to be able to substantiate that.
And I was going to ask, what do you think the W should do if they do come across? Because I don't know how you'd be able to really, one, differentiate between who's being, really racist and who's, being a fan. And then once you do, what do you do? Like, are you going to ban them? Are you going to suspend? Are you going to say, hey, this stuff is not allowed? What do you do?
Things were getting tough several years ago at the DePaul games.
Mm-hmm.
And I posted about it fairly regularly that, you had some real nasty fans there, and that's much, much smaller space and so you could hear everything. And one thing that they did was they would post rules and hand out the rules of fan behavior to each person coming in. And I would say that should happen everywhere. And the thing is, I know heated battle, all that fun stuff. There's, you're going to get into a game, but hate has no place. Racist talk has no place anywhere at any time. There are rules to how you behave. There's rules to what players need to be mindful of. They can be as mean and nasty on the court as they want, but you do not respond with hatred and bigotry. You cannot. That is unsportsmanlike conduct.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. But in my household, we had some very strict rules. My dad broke them all the time just because, he was raised with those, with the opposite. Okay. And he always told me, I said, so I can't say those words. He goes, you listen to your mother. He knew it was wrong.
My dad would do the same to me, and then I discovered Richard Pryor and George Carlin.
Oh boy!
And once I discovered George Carlin, it was on. And Dad and I got into a competition where we would try to find the worst joke of the two and make each other laugh. And it wound up a tie because as soon as I find something with George Carlin, he had one ready for me from Richard Pryor, and we're sitting in our room cracking up laughing.
Of course.
So with that being said, the racial epithets, and I know it goes on. You and I both, Allie, have been to professional events where you see it and you hear it and you're in shock.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
You're in shock.
Yeah. And
they need that small handbook needs to go out everywhere.
Yes.
To all the fans, because there's no place for the hate. I mean, you can be against the team. Don't get me wrong. You can be against the team, but you can do it in a way where you're just showing you're a fan and you're not an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's what I'm guessing is that if you talk to individual people, it's just if they hear it, the handbook could say something like, if we hear it, we're going to toss you out of the game. You can make good on that threat. One of the reasons I'm sure why they couldn't substantiate it was because the noise was bouncing off and I could not imagine that you could really pick it up to say, okay, that one sounded like the N word. This one sounded like maybe the C word.
And that's the problem. You can't pick up who said it, where it came from, especially with Fever games being sold out all the time. And with this game in Chicago going to be sold out all the time, even though the technology is the same because they use it for NBA games. How are you going to pick off who said what and deal with it swiftly? Because it's got to happen fast.
Yeah. And that's gonna be a challenge. But if you have the rules in front of you and you break those rules, that is they've got trained staff there to to make sure that it doesn't go that far.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, I was an Andy Frayne usher when I was a kid, pretty much. And, you're in the stands at Bears games. And I mean, oh my God.
No more. I was the security guard for the Democratic Convention in Chicago in 1996. And where did they have that party? Of course, the United Center.
Of course. A great party.
And I heard some things. I will not repeat it here, but I heard some things in that joint that had nothing to do with sports and frightened the daylights out of me. And I'm thinking people can actually get brutal.
Yeah, they absolutely can.
They can actually get brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Same funny story. That same night went to my second assignment of the night, which was at the hotel where the delegates were staying. And they had a rule: no eating, even though the delegates can march in and out of that joint and eat all they want. And at the time, I was also a student. So I'm burning the candle at both ends and at another end where I didn't have any food. One of the I was just about to fall asleep, and one of the delegates came out with 2 trays like this and sat him on my lap. And I and turned around, and the delegate just waved at me, and I'm going, I'm afraid to open these. Yeah, they were full of food.
Very nice.
And I killed it.
Very, very nice. Hey, we got some shout outs.
Oh, yeah.
We have got some shout outs. Paige Beckers is the first player in the history of the league to have 60 plus points and 30 plus assists in her first 5 career games. So
you're starting to figure it out.
Starting to do it. And Kiki Arafen looms as a very legitimate threat to nab Angel Reese's rookie rebound record.
Listen, Kiki Arafen is gonna be dynamite.
Yes. She's taken the league by storm for sure. She's even if the team's under 500, the Washington Mystics, she's grabbing 13.8 points per game and 11.2 rebounds and thus far. And she has grabbed at least 12 rebounds in all 4 of those games and has many as 14 boards in a stretch. So I'm thrilled that both of these women have made such a splash, and that their teams, that's the reason why they were chosen, with the teams hopefully being better. They will improve. And
they will.
Yes. And so praise God. Also, another praise for Angel Reese, actually. She became the fastest player in the WNBA to reach 500 plus points and 500 plus rebounds in 38 games. And the previous record was 44 games held by Tina Charles. So that's what, and you've got to remember also that Angel did miss some time last year. She had a season-ending wrist injury, so it could have been even more because she missed about 2 or 3 games in the last
last 4 games.
The last 4 games. Yeah. And it would have been much higher on that. And so you got to say congratulations to them, and also a congratulations to DeWanna Bonner as well. So what is it? 7,500 points.
7,500 points.
7,500.
DeWanna Bonner. Yes. And to think, and I mentioned this a couple times last night, DeWanna Bonner is in her 15th season.
Yeah.
Of UConn. 15. I wouldn't think 15 years went by that fast, but then again, been covering women's basketball basically since the 90s. Yeah, 15 years can go that fast.
Right. That's right. Bonner, 7,500 points, 3,000 rebounds, and 1,000 assists.
Yes.
My God. I mean, you got to go to the NBA for better.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. And that's like in that same league with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan. Yeah.
The legends, Larry Bird, Julius Erving, as I mentioned earlier this morning. Man, you just don't see numbers like that. And to whom I think is going to wind up being the most valuable player, Nafisa Collier.
Yes. Nafisa is, I mean, she's gangbusters this year and last year. And it's amazing too, because I mean, she hasn't stopped playing basketball since last season. I mean, she was one half of the Unrivaled group, and she's just playing like a house of fire. So whatever is driving her, it will continue to do that.
Yes.
And she's got something. She has got something going on there that's absolutely unbelievable.
I told you it's the revenge tour.
Yep.
It's the revenge tour.
And by the way, Nafisa became the 5th player in WNBA history with 30 plus points, 10 plus rebounds, 3 plus steals, and 3 plus blocks per game. And she's got some company there. She's got Asia Wilson, Lisa Leslie, the great Sylvia Fowles, and Terry Phillips. And my God, I haven't thought about Terry.
Hall of Famer Sylvia Fowles.
Yes.
Hall of Famer Sylvia Fowles.
Oh, God, I wish.
We watched her in Chicago for 4 years, and just when you think she couldn't do any more. In fact, there was a couple games that Allie and I covered together where the Sky were down big. Allie looked at me and said, "What's going to happen now?" And then Sylvia Fowles comes in. Then she looks at me and goes, "Never mind. Next thing you know, a 10-point deficit is a 12-point lead." And I looked at Allie and I go, "You were saying?"
That's an absolutely true story, and you gotta love it.
One of those was against Phoenix and Diana Taurasi, because Diana Taurasi is Diana Taurasi.
Yeah.
Right, she came out like a house of fire.
Every
time out called, couldn't stop her. Then Sylvia Fowles checked in, and the next thing you know, Phoenix, which was up by 12, is now down by 10. And then after that, it wound up going overtime.
Yeah.
I was tired.
Yes.
And then Allie looked at me and goes, "You're not going. I don't care how tired you are. You're not going anywhere for the next 5 minutes."
That's right.
I pulled it out in overtime. We both did our post game reports. I looked at Allie and I said, "I love you dearly, but I'm going home. I'm tired."
As well you should have, dear. But it was an exciting game. Plus, they still had food out. I wasn't going anywhere. So
you think I didn't take a couple goodie bags with me?
I bet you did.
I had one on the floor when I wasn't supposed to, but they didn't care. They looked at me, they saw all my equipment, and they said, "Just make sure we don't see that trash, okay?"
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I love that. By the way, Diana Taurasi had some very glowing words this week for Paige Beckers. She said that that Paige Beckers was going to become the next GOAT, which, you know, I mean, Diana's the GOAT, but
No argument here.
Paige Beckers, it's you know.
There's a young lady named Caitlin Clark that wants to have a discussion first.
I think so.
Only thing that separates Paige and Caitlin Clark is a year.
Yes. And so we'll see.
I'm waiting for those two to lock horns this year.
I can't wait.
I've decided I'm covering all 44 Fever games. I said I made that decision last night. I said the hell with it. I'm going all in. Speaking of all in, how about the Minnesota Frost? Back to back Walter Cup champions.
Two-time champions, and an amazing just over the Ottawa Charge. It was a 2-1 overtime win. And Liz Shepard's, I wish we talked more about the PWHL here. Liz Shepard's was the overtime hero for the Frost. She netted the championship winning goal for the second year in a row. And it was 11,024 fans got on their feet at the XL Energy Center. Now,
I got on my feet when I saw it.
Yeah,
I got on my feet when I saw the series winner.
That was so amazing, and they, I believe she was the one who won the Alana Cross Trophy, and you have to remember that Alana Frost and Billie Jean King are married, and they were the ones who founded the PWHL. And so it's nice to have Alana Kloss.
They did. I'm glad they did.
Yeah. And this has been a godsend for professional women's hockey. It has never had this kind of stability before. They've got, and the Minnesota Frost with, by the way, Kendall Coyne Schofield as their captain. I don't see how you can lose with Kendall in the building, you know.
The crazy part about the Frost is they didn't start well this year.
No,
they didn't start well at all, but they caught fire at the end of the year, and look at them hoist the cup for the second year in a row. Congrats to the Minnesota Frost and their second straight championship. And I know I said I planned to cover the PWHL this past season. I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't find the time because every notebook I have right here on the side of me was full. And then my beautiful wife got me using my calendar a lot more and I just couldn't squeeze a game in. But next year I'm going to have some help, and we are going to cover it.
All right. Well, I'll help you out there too.
Good.
So when we're there, because I've interviewed Kendall many times in her career, and I can't believe what this woman's accomplished in her. You know, she's not 30 yet, so it's. And
that little one she has is going to be a hockey beast.
Oh,
I'm just saying, that little one she has is going to be a hockey beast.
Kendall comes from the south suburbs, and so you know, a product of the ice arena in Orland Park, and I used to work with her brother Kevin over at Moraine Valley Community College. I used to edit all of his stuff, and so at the Glacier, and so it was because of Kevin that I was able to meet Kendall and you know, become you know, friendly with the Coyne family.
I want an interview with. I want both of us to do an interview with Kendall.
That'd be great.
I want that.
One
more thing before we get out of here, and you gave this to me, and we have to talk about this since no one else will. CTE is not just for male athletes. Olympic gold medalist Lisa Brown Miller's family has donated her brain to science after her recent suicide. CTE is very, very real, not just in athletics, but in life.
It's a very painful thing to deal with, not just for you, but the people around you.
Yeah. Well, I've had my family members deal with dementia.
Yeah.
And from firsthand experience, it's very difficult, especially as the brain takes hold, and you just see the deterioration. This was a sad story. Lisa was in her mid-50s, and if you remember Lisa Brown Miller, she was a 1998 Olympic gold medalist.
Yep.
And she coached and she mentored countless young athletes. She was head coach of the Princeton University women's team. And she died by suicide after enduring a lifetime of repetitive head impacts by playing hockey. And she went to the top of her sport. But in so many ways, this reminds me of Dave Duerson of the Bears, and of Notre Dame, who committed suicide at age 50. And said specifically he could no longer live with this pain anymore and this confusion and everything that was CTE. We're only now starting to hear about it with women. And yet, if you think about it, soccer, hockey, flag football is going to be coming up. What's going to happen?
What's gonna happen with that? Yep.
Protect your head.
Please.
And the thing is that the Brown Miller family donated her brain with the hopes that they could help advance the understanding and prevention and treatment of this degenerative brain disease and shed light on the unique risks faced by female athletes in contact sports, because concussion protocols are real. So many don't want it to happen. So many people, would like to, shrug their shoulders and say, but the fact is that every time you take a blow to the head, or, you're in helmet to helmet contact, or you take a soccer ball. I've had a soccer ball to my head before. I can't skate well enough to be on the ice. So I have really weak ankles and no middle ear. So I cannot do that. But I've certainly taken a soccer ball to the head a few times, and it is jangling. It's that's the best way I can describe it. And so definitely kudos to the Brown Miller family for donating the brain to her brain to Boston University's CTE Center. That's the best in the business. And and let's not ignore it in female athletes.
No, please. Let's not ignore it with the women, because they go through it, and they suffer more in silence with this.
Yeah,
men do.
Yeah,
I brought up a name a couple weeks ago of a fellow who suffered in silence. You mentioned Dave Duerson. I mentioned Junior Seau.
Yes, yeah, Junior as well. I was thinking of him this morning as well. So yeah, and the thing is that out of that realization from those autopsies of Junior Seau and Dave Duerson and many other football players, they developed a better helmet. So why can't this happen with
women?
Yeah.
Why can't this happen for the women, especially now with women's hockey taking off?
Right.
Yeah.
They need to get in there and handle this now.
That
Two
needs
seasons of the PWHL under your belt.
I think that's what angers me the most with this is that why does the mainstream wait till it's too late?
Because the mainstream is lamestream.
Yeah.
Period.
So they wait until someone's dead. It's like we should have been doing this beforehand, so it doesn't get to the point where someone's dead.
And again, Ali mentioned Dave Duerson, and I remember that tragic story and how he committed suicide. And not long after that, we hear the name of Junior Seau doing the same thing. And now you have, you have this. You have Lisa Brown Miller committing suicide because of CTE. Man, CTE is real in all athletes. CTE is very real, especially when any kind of blow to the head's going to weaken it. This is from a fellow who's taking a couple of concussions.
And I'm going to say a name that it's going to be very controversial. But Chris Benoit had some that too.
That's right.
I was thinking about the Canadian crippler.
Yeah.
Because I remember when they talked about his father donated his brain to science with Chris Nowinski, who was also a wrestler who had concussions. They said when they examined his brain was that of an 80-year-old Alzheimer's patient with dementia and CTE. And I'm like, my God. Now that doesn't excuse what he did.
No,
it makes
it doesn't.
Man, if someone were to catch this early, about the tragedy that is Junior Seau, Dave Duerson, Chris Benoit, and others. Why are we waiting so late?
Yeah,
and we got to keep a track on this.
Yeah,
no other media outlet will, but we will.
Yes, we absolutely will.
Media, I guarantee you, no other media outlet will talk about this, but we will.
That's why I love being
not only bring the fun, we want to bring the awareness.
That's why I love being part of this group.
Yep,
you guys are my mentors.
Oh, that's so sweet,
man. Especially Allie, because Allie is the one that is in them trenches.
Allie's been in the Chicago trenches as long as I've known her.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And longer.
Listen, Allie does not play around. Okay. Allie does not play around. And
Ellie's gotten in trouble for not playing around. So
you think I haven't in 30 years? Allie and I have been friends for almost 15 years now, and she's been around when I've gotten in trouble.
No, that's true.
Allie's been around when I've gotten in trouble when I've stood my ground. And Allie stood her ground with me. I was like, wait a minute, why are you doing this to him? What did he do? Matter of fact, I nearly got kicked out of a Sky game because of a rule they implemented before I arrived. They changed the timing of the interviews and did not inform the press in time. And I nearly got kicked out.
Jeez.
You're not doing, you're not getting away with this one. Fortunately, the situation got fixed. All right, we better get on out of here. Allie, thank you so much, my dear. Always a pleasure. We'll talk to you next.
All righty. Everybody have a great week.
Yep.
And we got to have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, Allie is, and we hope you are too. Pacers and Knicks, our feature game tonight on Snowman Multimedia. So long, everybody.
Add that.
Just push the button, will you please?
Oh, yeah.
If you thought today was crazy, wait till tomorrow. See you later.